Hello and greetings to all. Through this video, I'm continuing the topic dealing with the rise of black empowerment groups slash Afrocentrics who are seeking to appropriate indigenous heritage and culture. You can refer to my previous video to see the start of this particular discussion. I want to go ahead and add just more stuff that I've been pretty much contemplating. I am also recording my thoughts and the research that I've been conducting in the second part to my book, Reconstructing a Brown Identity, which you can get through major booksellers, Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, Walmart.com. Also, placing the link to the publisher in case you're interested in getting my literary masterpiece. But I'm coming up with the second part since I am all about defending, advocating, and reconstructing the brown identity. Thus, the name of the book and the name of the forthcoming second part. As a matter of fact, I also did want to take some time to promote a page that I manage on Facebook. I'm slowly starting to get into sharing more, through this avenue. Also, if you follow the page, you can also find plenty of information on my book, how to get a copy of the book, what the book is about, what my particular journey is, whatnot, which I'm pretty sure I speak of plenty through this YouTube channel. I'll also put the information in the description section, but it's pretty much titled Defending Global Brownness. I did promote one towards the beginning of me establishing the channel, titled Brown Inspiration from the Ancients. However, given the current need to advocate for a global brown identity, I went ahead and renamed the page. And the page has always been about defending global brownness and establishing the greatness of brown people worldwide. So you can get some more information there. As a matter of fact, since it's part of the discussion, the reason why I titled Defending Global Brownness, anytime you think about being brown, you pretty much think something very locally. For instance, myself as a Chicano with some Southwest indigenous heritage, you quickly think brownness refers to being Chicano, which it does, but it also refers to being Native American and Indigenous American from Canada, First Nations, from South America, Central America, because essentially what I'm advocating for, and also through my book, Reconstructing a Brown Identity, is reconstructing an identity that is contingent about an invariable. Throughout these past 500 years, we have changed languages. We have changed. We're now called Latinos, Hispanics, mestizos, and all these other words that we really didn't agree to. Well, what about the only invariant has been our brownness? Like, we have remained brown. Maybe lighter shades, maybe darker shades in between, but we have remained brown. So why not reconstruct an identity that is contingent upon brownness, which is essentially what I'm doing. So we branch off, myself as a Chicano, who is familiar with Nahuatl culture and Nahuatl language. I am familiar with the connection between Nahuas and other Uto-Aztecan language-speaking groups, such as the Hopi, the Pima, the Yaqui, the Raramuri, also known as the Tarahumara. So, we began that chain, of connection with our indigenous brothers and sisters from, northern, America, speaking of the U.S. and Canada. And then we branch out to other brown groups worldwide who have undergone similar invasion, occupation, such as Filipinos, who were also colonized from the Spanish. We do share quite a bit of similarities, which I also promote on my page, Defending Global Brownness. Then, of course, there are groups as far away as Samoans, and people in Guam, whatnot. So as it is, anytime you threaten an indigenous brown identity, you're not only threatening a handful of people in the Americas, which, of course, we were quite sizable nations and tribes and bands within, but you also threaten, brown people anywhere, because pretty much at this point these black supremacists are saying that they are the original people everywhere, and that the rest of us were some I don't even know. They teach different things, which I'm really not going to lend ear to that. But at this point, my statement through this video is pretty much asking the question. I see a lot of them promoting themselves as the Indigenous Americans. They are wearing wigs with braids, which I pointed out is ridiculous, because if we Indigenous Americans are Siberian invaders, why are you trying to wear our hair to the extent of buying expensive wigs? You know, they're wearing regalia, which is typically Native American, which according to them is Siberian, but yet they're emulating it by wearing it and trying to look like us. You know, and a lot of these African Americans do have indigenous admixture. It's clear in their face, but that doesn't entitle them to altogether usurp and try to take the indigenous heritage from the people it belongs to. But pretty much my question that I make to them is, what plan are you proposing? At this point, we have water defenders, fighting the Dakota Access Pipelines, and people really fighting for whom we refer to as our mother, the earth. What is their plan of action toward defending Mother Earth? Everything that they're initiating pretty much just seems to satiate their own egos. So at this point, I don't see any action. I would probably, respect them a bit more if they actually propose a plan of action to remediate a lot of the issues that are afflicting not only indigenous peoples worldwide, but also the earth, our mother. So at this point, if they're not really proposing, a plan to action to whatever's really ailing, which other indigenous people are indeed doing, then at this point, everything is very egocentric and revolving around their overly inflating egos, because they're really just promoting themselves. They're promoting t-shirts, decals, and all this merchandise, which is really just a big fan club that they're putting together. So, it really makes you question, their motives and the reason for wanting to claim indigenous heritage. So again, I will continue to this subject as well as other topics centered around brown spirituality. So please like, follow, and share.